John Forbes Kerry, born December 11, 1943, is an American politician and diplomat who served as the 68th United States Secretary of State from 2013 to 2017. An attorney and former naval officer, Kerry first drew public attention as a decorated Vietnam veteran turned anti-war activist. He went on to serve as a prosecutor and as Lieutenant Governor of Massachusetts, before serving as United States Senator from Massachusetts from 1985 to 2013. A member of the Democratic Party, he was the Democratic nominee for President of the United States in the 2004 election, which he lost to incumbent President George W. Bush. Kerry grew up as a military brat in Massachusetts and Washington, D.C., before attending boarding school in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. In 1966, after graduating from Yale University, Kerry enlisted in the United States Naval Reserve, ultimately attaining the rank of lieutenant. From 1968 to 1969, during the Vietnam War, he served an abbreviated 4-month tour of duty in South Vietnam. While serving as the commanding officer of a swift boat, Kerry sustained 3 wounds in combat with the Viet Cong, earning 3 Purple Heart medals. Kerry was awarded the Silver Star Medal and the Bronze Star Medal for valorous conduct in separate military engagements. After completing his active military service, Kerry returned to the United States and became an outspoken opponent of the Vietnam War. He gained national recognition as an anti-war activist, serving as a spokesperson for the Vietnam Veterans Against the War organization. Kerry testified in the Fulbright hearings before the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, where he described the United States government's policy in Vietnam as the cause of war crimes. In 1972, Kerry entered electoral politics as a Democratic candidate for the United States House of Representatives in Massachusetts' 5th Congressional District. Kerry won the Democratic nomination but was defeated in the general election by his Republican opponent. He subsequently worked as a radio talk show host in Lowell and as the executive director of an advocacy organization while attending the Boston College School of Law. After obtaining his Juris Doctor in 1976, Kerry served from 1977 to 1979 as the first Assistant District Attorney of Middlesex County, where he tried criminal cases and managed the District Attorney's office. After a period in private legal practice, Kerry was elected Lieutenant Governor of Massachusetts in 1982. In 1984, Kerry was elected to the United States Senate. As a member of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, he led a series of hearings investigating narcotics trafficking in Latin America, which exposed aspects of the Iran-Contra affair. He was re-elected to additional terms in 1990, 1996, 2002 and 2008. Kerry won the Democratic Party presidential nomination in 2004, alongside vice presidential nominee and North Carolina Senator John Edwards. Kerry campaigned as a critic of Republican President George W. Bush's prosecution of the Iraq War and advocated a liberal domestic policy. Kerry lost the Electoral College and the popular vote by narrow margins, winning 251 electors to Bush's 286 and 48.3% of the popular vote to Bush's 50.7%. Kerry remained in the Senate and chaired the Committee on Foreign Relations from 2009 to 2013. In January 2013, he was nominated by President Barack Obama to succeed outgoing Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and was confirmed by his Senate colleagues on a vote of 94-3. As Secretary of State, Kerry initiated the 2013 to 2014 Israeli-Palestinian peace talks and negotiated landmark agreements restricting the nuclear program of Iran, including the 2013 Joint Plan of Action and the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. In 2015, Kerry signed the Paris Agreement on climate change on behalf of the United States. Kerry served as Secretary of State until the end of the Obama administration in January 2017, when he retired from government service. Kerry has remained active in public affairs as a vocal opponent of Republican President Donald Trump and as a supporter of Joe Biden, the President-elect of the United States. On November 23, 2020, President-elect Joe Biden announced that Kerry will serve as the U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate in the Biden administration. 1. John Forbes Kerry was born on December 11, 1943, at Fitzsimons Army Medical Center in Aurora, Colorado. 2. He is the second of 4 children born to Richard John Kerry, a Foreign Service officer and lawyer, and Rosemary Forbes, a nurse and social activist. His father was raised Catholic, John's paternal grandparents were Austro-Hungarian Jewish immigrants who converted to Catholicism, and his mother was Episcopalian. He was raised with an elder sister named Margaret, a younger sister named Diana, and a younger brother named Cameron. The children were raised in their father's Catholic faith, and John served as an altar boy. 3. Kerry was originally a military brat. 4. Until his father was discharged from the Army Air Corps. Kerry lived in Groton, Massachusetts in his first year in Millis, Massachusetts afterwards before moving to the Georgetown neighborhood of Washington, D.C. At age 7, when his father took a spot in the Department of the Navy's Office of General Counsel and soon became a diplomat in the State Department's Bureau of United Nations Affairs. 5, 6, 7. His maternal extended family enjoyed great wealth as members of the Forbes and Dudley Winthrop families. 8. Kerry's parents themselves were upper middle class, and a wealthy great-aunt paid for him to attend elite boarding schools 3, such as Institut Montana Zuckerberg in Switzerland. 9. Through his maternal ancestry, Kerry also descends from Reverend James MacGregor, who was among the first 500 Scots-Irish immigrants to Boston Harbor in the 18th century. 10. In 1957, his father was stationed at the U.S. Embassy in Oslo, Norway, and Kerry was sent back to the United States to attend boarding school. He first attended the Fessenden School in Newton, Massachusetts, and later St. Paul's School in Concord, New Hampshire, where he learned skills in public speaking and began developing an interest in politics. 3. Kerry founded the John Winant Society at St. Paul's to debate the issues of the day. The society still exists there. 11.7. In 1960, while at St. Paul's, he played bass in a minor rock band called the Electras with 6 of his classmates. 12.13.14. They had about 500 copies of one album printed in 1961, which they sold some of at dances at the school. It was made available on streaming platforms many years later. 12.14.15.16. In 1962, Kerry entered Yale University, majoring in political science and residing in Jonathan Edwards College. 17. By that year, his parents returned to Groton. 1819, while at Yale, Kerry briefly dated Janet Auchincloss, the younger half-sister of First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy. Through Auchincloss, Kerry was invited to a day of sailing with then-President John F. Kennedy and his family. 20. Kerry played on the varsity Yale Bulldogs men's soccer team, earning his only letter in his senior year. He also played freshman and JV hockey and, in his senior year, JV lacrosse. 21. In addition, he was a member of the Psi Upsilon fraternity and took flying lessons. 22-23. In his sophomore year, Kerry became the chairman of the Liberal Party of the Yale Political Union, and a year later he served as president of the union. Amongst his influential teachers in this period was Professor H. Bradford Westerfield, who was himself a former president of the political union. 24. His involvement with the political union gave him an opportunity to be involved with important issues of the day, such as the civil rights movement and the New Frontier program. He also became a member of Skull and Bones Society, and traveled to Switzerland. 25, through ASEC Yale. 26-27.